Okay, let's get started. I want to welcome you, and I'm really, really happy that you're here. So thank you for being here. My name is Wendy Quan, and I'm the founder of the Calm Monkey. And one of the main things that I love to do is training and certifying mindfulness facilitators for the workplace. And I'm really happy to say that a number of them are here with us tonight, and we're bringing this session to you together. And it's nice to see such a strong turnout. It's really good to come together in community, especially during this difficult time. So a lot of you put where you are in the world, and if you haven't yet, please go ahead and open your chat window and let us know where you are. There's people from all over the world with us tonight, and that's wonderful. So I'd like to just say a few words before we get started into the meditation. And it's really I wanted to say, the pandemic has made us all stop in our tracks. It's made us feel uncomfortable. And for some, it's been an opportunity to take notice of how we're living our lives. Then the awful death of George Floyd happened, and that's certainly sparked outrage and protests for social justice. So I don't want to assume how you might be feeling about this. So I'd like you to make sure your chat window is up, and I'd like you, if you may, type a word or two to describe what emotions you're feeling about all of this, about the whole, George Floyd incident and the protests that are going on. If you'd like to contribute, you don't have to, but please go ahead and type into the chat a few words about how you're feeling. So I'm seeing in the chat things like confused and despair and deflated and empathy and hopeful for change and overwhelmed and sad and anxious, hopeless, time for a change, unsettled, sadness, hopeless at times, angry and shocked and exhausted and hopeful, hopeful for change, finally, yes, deeply sad and disappointed, powerless. Wow, lots going on there, right? Resilience. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I was thinking, what do you do with all these emotions that you have? This can be absolutely overwhelming for sure. You might feel confused or stuck or frozen or numb. And that's why I wanted to do this today, is to help you, if you can, get clarity on how you want to move forward with this, which reduces anxiety and reduces feeling overwhelmed about this. The format of today's sitting is a bit different than what I normally do. There's two distinct differences. And the first is that I've got a number of facilitators joining me, which is awesome. And I'm so touched that they raised their hand to help out and to share their personal thoughts and be seen, speak up and be seen. So thank you, facilitators, for doing that. And secondly, the goal is to create a safe space for you to explore your own thoughts on this subject and hopefully gain clarity on what your purposeful action is in the privacy of your own mind. We're going to be doing two meditations. The first one is about 15 minutes long, and then there'll be another one later that's about 5 minutes long. And the facilitators will be sharing their own purposeful actions and some of their thoughts with you. And then we're going to be ending with a short compassion practice. There will be two open forums that you can share your thoughts if you wish to do that. Okay, so I want to talk about, what is purposeful action? And purposeful action comes from having a vision and an ethical mission. It's an action that benefits others beyond ourselves. I think this needs to come from within, from a place of ethics, and only you can know what this is for you. Only you can be open to being vulnerable, to being completely honest with yourself about your biases, your actions, your words, and your thoughts. So my hope for you is that by the end of this session, it's stirred up something within you that might be uncomfortable or might be energizing, but that you get some clarity. So I want the needle to shift for you in your own personal and private way about how you show up in this world with respect to anti-racism. I want you to think about what your place is in humanity. So shifting the needle for you might be a whole number of things. So I've got some thoughts here. It might be attending a protest, which you've never done before. Or it might be writing to authorities, which you've never done before. It might be spending time listening to people's stories. It might be educating yourself about the history and the issues behind the protests. It's not turning a blind eye. And maybe it's raising this subject for discussion with your family and friends, which might make you feel uncomfortable. So my hope is that you can get clear on what action feels right for you and having a plan so you feel empowered. So, you know what? Mindfulness fits beautifully with all of this. To be mindful is to pay attention to what's happening within you and around you, to recognize when you might be passing judgment and taking the action to judge less, and to have compassion for yourself and for others. This is why we've come together. And I hope you embody mindfulness into your everyday being, into your way of being, to be awake, to be aware, to live life with compassion and intention. When we pause mindfully, we create calm and peace within ourselves. And from that place, we can begin to see things more clearly. So I'm here to offer this opportunity to you and to those who are watching the replay in the future to give yourself this time to sit with all this and decide what your purposeful action might be. And you know what? I'm absolutely not somebody that shouts from a mountaintop. In fact, I've had to learn to be with discomfort being in the public eye. So as I thought about my own purposeful action, in my own little way, I have two actions. The first is to help whomever is interested through mindfulness and meditation get clear on their purposeful action. And secondly, to encourage facilitators to do the same with their audiences. So I'll be offering a couple of open forums for anybody who wants to share their thoughts. And you know what? When we do that, I'm totally okay with awkward silence. If that's the way it's going to be, no worries at all. This is a really personal subject tonight. Okay, so before we go into the meditation, I'd like you to hear from a couple of our facilitators. So Sheila Gervin, can you please go ahead? You can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me, Wendy?
I can, yeah. Thanks,
Great.
Sheila.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sheila Gervin. I'm from Campbell River on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. I have struggled with not knowing what to do right now. Practicing mindfulness and meditation has been a path towards self-compassion that allowed the realization that I need to stop pushing away the uncomfortableness of not knowing and be prepared to look deeply at the pain around me. I grew up with racism and the insidious infiltration of it throughout society. So I need to put aside my knowing that fits so neatly within the lifetime of blind spots that I have, and instead allow for other ways of seeing to enter my consciousness with curiosity, compassion, and kindness. So my purposeful action begins with the courage to face the truth that this is tough, as a white person, have been able to reap the benefits of the centuries of violence against non-white people. Responding to this pain is not optional. Martin Luther King said, that a riot is the language of the unheard. I know that right now I need to listen to those who have not been heard. Pause and connect inwardly to find alignment with my values, and then be ready to respond with loving intent. I believe we each have a role in ending racism, and together we can embrace each other and bring the change that the world needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Awesome. Hi, my name is Luci. I was born, grew up, and was educated in South Africa. I immigrated to Vancouver, Canada about 2 decades ago, and in recent years I moved to Winnipeg, Manitoba, where I now live with my husband and 2 sons. There is so much going on right now for everyone, and add to that the backdrop of centuries of injustice, and add to that the ongoing macro and microaggressions that Black, Indigenous, people of color experience in communities and workplaces in many countries. And everyday news stories are posted. So there's really a lot to unpack. So at this time, through my lens as a South African Canadian Black woman, my chosen action is to actively listen to their written and their spoken words. And as I listen, my commitment is to mindfully observe when I become distracted by the voices in my own head, be it my own perspectives and my own experiences, my own ego, or perhaps it's societal stereotypes. And for me to instead, with compassion for them and for myself, to gently return to listening to their thoughts and their emotions and their story. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila and Luci. I know this is an emotional time. I tell you, my emotions are right on the edge here. So thank you very much for setting this up for us. I'd like to now go into the meditation that I call a journey to your purposeful action. So it's going to be about 15 minutes long, and what I'd like to do is relax you first and then have you explore your purposeful action in privacy. And a bit later, during the second meditation, that's going to be a silent meditation where you can further focus on this and contemplate on this a bit further. So for those of you who may not have too much meditation experience, there's no worries at all. I'd like to just say to you a few pointers to not expect anything in particular in meditation, not expecting a calm or a blank mind at all. And our human minds will absolutely wander. So when your mind wanders, just gently recognize that it's wandered and bring your focus back to the meditation. It's really quite simple. I'd like you to be an observer of your own experience, because part of this meditation, I'm going to be asking you to see what comes up in your body, what kind of body sensations coming up, because the body talks to you. And to have no judgment, okay? So as you do this, don't judge yourself at all. I mean, especially with this meditation, it could be quite easy for you to judge yourself, but please don't at all. Just be an observer of what comes up. Okay, so are you all ready? All game? Okay. So I'd like you to sit tall. Hopefully, well, maybe you're sitting in a chair. You might be lying down, but if you're sitting in a chair, I'd like you to sit nice and tall with your back straight but relaxed. Relax your body. And we want our spine to be upright and tall because it creates this beautiful space in our front body to breathe. And it gives the practice some dignity. So have your feet flat on the floor. And if you like, you can do some shoulder rolls. That feels really good. Just bring your shoulders up and back and down. Do that a couple of times just to relax, okay? You can have your hands on your lap if you like. And I'll invite you to gently close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. If you don't feel comfortable with that for any reason, Don't worry at all. Just have your eyes open, a crack, and you can have a soft gaze in front of you instead. So I invite you to just have your facial muscles, just relax your facial muscles. Your mouth is closed and you're breathing naturally through your nose. And give yourself permission to let go of all the things going on in your life right now so you can focus on this one task of this meditation. Now, especially with this meditation, because we're dealing with a difficult subject, I would really like you to practice self-care. So at any time during this meditation or any time during our time together, if you ever feel uncomfortable or highly emotional in any way, I want you to please do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. If that's turning off your camera, stopping, pausing, breathing, standing up and walking around, looking outside, stretching, opening your eyes for a moment. Okay, whatever you need to do, please take good care of yourself. So typically we breathe from a shallow place in our chest. So I'd like you to now take some deep breaths, deep, slow breaths at your own pace. Relaxing your belly muscles. Relax them, relax them. Allowing your breath to be fuller. And I'd like you to make the exhalation longer than the inhalation. So breathing in, but then when you're breathing out, make it longer and slower. And that's relaxing. And now I'd like you to return your breath to its natural rhythm, whatever that might be. And now I'll ask you to think back just a few days ago to the time when you first saw what happened to George Floyd. And as you sit with this, I'd like you to notice what emotions arise for you. And where in your body do you feel sensations because of these emotions? Notice where you feel this in the body and what that feels like. So what might these emotions and sensations be telling you? And is there a message here? Is there something calling out for your attention? So being in this stillness, be with your own authenticity. It's time for self-exploration. As you start to consider if and what actions feel right for you, consider that we're all connected. Consider that what you think, what you do, and what you say really does matter. See yourself as part of humanity. Now I'd like you to bring your attention to your heart center and invite you to open your heart, to be vulnerable, to drop any facade. Invite your humanness to show. So what purposeful action comes up for you? What might purposeful action look like to you? With no judgment, but openness to possibilities. What feels right to you? It could be a simple action within yourself, or it could be an action that is visible to others. See what comes up for you now. So stretch your comfort zone. What would you do if you had no fear or hesitations? And what will you do as you let go of fear or hesitations? And what action internal or external, will you take moving forward? And now, whatever you have come up with, even if it's not totally clear, I'd like you to say this to yourself a number of times so you remember it. And now, as we start to end this meditation, allow me to guide you out. I'd like you to breathe through your nose and take some more deep, slow breaths, but this time making the inhalation longer than the exhalation. And returning your breath back to normal, natural breath. If your eyes are closed, you can keep them closed for a moment longer. And I'd like you to start to bring movement into your body. So you can move your hands and your feet and perhaps feel the contact of your feet to the floor. Stretch. Nice stretches, you guys. That looks great. And open your eyes when you're ready. I'm just going to give us some silence for a moment. Okay, thank you so much for doing that. And before we go into the opportunity for an open forum, I'd like to invite a couple more facilitators to share. So Debbie, if you'd like to go ahead and unmute, that would be great.
My name is Debbie Despain. I am here in Franklin, Kentucky, and we've had, some peaceful protest, even though I know racism is still alive in Bible Belt area. The co-founder of our mindfulness business is Black, as well as my new son-in-law, who is amazing, and the extended family that I have now. My purposeful action in conjunction with my co-founder is that we're inviting individuals that we have been building relationships with, both Black and white, to have open dialogue and to have a mindful discussion around ideas of what we can do to help educate, empower, co-create more unity and equality for a safe, loving, and more compassionate world for all humanity. And this will include friends, family, business leaders, educators, some students, some retirees. We have a gamut of people that plan to be involved, and so far we've been getting good feedback on people who want to be involved. So I think just being able to have some good open dialogue. People have questions, and sometimes they don't have someone that maybe they're comfortable even asking those questions of, and I've been very fortunate to have close friends and now family who are Black individuals that we can have wonderful discussions. So that's what we want to kind of springboard off of.
Thank you, Debbie. Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Branny. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And here in Ottawa, thousands of people took to the streets in downtown, marching in solidarity against anti-Black racism. And I too have felt very heavy, not knowing the right way to act or say. So my purposeful action is to listen more, educate myself on many, many years of history on anti-racism, so I have a better understanding myself of so much pain and suffering from so many. And as a mother, I also want to educate my 2 young daughters of the importance of them understanding racism and the issues that affect so many. And even though they're 3 and 6, I believe it's not too early to discuss and open the dialogue so that we don't, turn a blind eye to that. Now, a fellow facilitator, Cliona Malloy, was unable to be here today, so I'd like to read her contribution. She shares, "Hi, my name is Cliona and I am from Ireland. Anti-racism is truly active in Ireland. To ensure I am part of that activity and my personal goals is to continue to develop and share my passion for mindful living. For the practice, I have more focused attention, an open heart, and a stronger sense of common humanity. I try to live from a place of responding rather than reacting." So she has a quote here from the great Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor, which says, "Between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space, it is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and freedom." Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie and Amber. I know this isn't easy showing up and speaking. Thank you. Okay, so I would like to open up for anybody to comment now. If you'd like to share what came up for you or any comments at all on this subject, I welcome you to do so. You can unmute and speak. You could also chat in the chat box if you prefer, but I would prefer if you spoke up. That would be wonderful. And like I said, I'm okay with this awkward silence. So I am going to mute myself and just see what happens, see what comes up.
Hi everyone, my name's Roland. Thanks Wendy very much for holding this event. It's very helpful. I at the start of the meditation was quite challenged with what my mental thinking was about this, and then really noticed a heavy sensation in my arms and chest. And in reflecting on what could I possibly do to help out, a simple action that sort of came to me first of all was just love. And then as you asked us to delve a little deeper into an action that we can take, I thought that I can find an association or club and just show up and ask, how can I help? I'm not sure what they'll say. Or whether or not I'll agree with their actions, but just to show up and see if there is a place, an event and a club that I can help with. So yeah, thanks very much.
Wendy, this is Maynard. Can you hear me? Hi, Wendy. So many thoughts and emotions. I'm sure for all of us, are going through, myself, but just a few. When you brought up what I was experiencing when I saw initially the video of the cop with his knee on the man's neck, it reminded me, maybe I'm older than most people on the call, I'm not sure, but it reminded me of, I used to, maybe when I was 20, I would see Malcolm X, I would go hear him speak. And I remember him saying something about, I remember like yesterday, even though it was like 50 years ago, and he was a black activist, I won't go into all of it. But he said something about people would say, maybe, I guess probably mostly white people, that he had a chip on his shoulder. But what he said in this quote, I heard him live, was that I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I'm tired of having a foot on my neck. And I absolutely went back to that memory. And then one other that I'll really quickly share. I've been on a million calls and God knows what, talking about this kind of thing, about racism. But the other thing was that I was at an evolutionist psychotherapy conference in Phoenix, where Viktor Frankl was the keynote speaker. And again, I think this is an age thing because, I'm in my 70s. And it was amazing, like, him talking about, because everybody has that quote about the stimulus response. But someone in the audience, asked him about what he would say to the Nazis if he had an opportunity. And I'll never forget it. And I think maybe it was my early 20s or something. And he really had no anger. And I kept thinking, boy, I was, as a Jewish guy, I was really angry. So it made me evolve to that, place of being. I can only maybe aspire to that, because I was freaking angry when I saw the cop with his, his knee on, and you've seen so many. So I've been through a range of emotions, but the last thing I'll say is the last day or two, I am just feeling, where there's so much negativity and it's never going to change. I just really am feeling inspired that things are going to finally change, that there's just enough momentum and energy. And when I talk about a lot in different circles, this circle gets it, but about starting within and about our own impulses and everything. And then, with all the different actions, but, starting with ourselves in the mindfulness, the meditation, being quiet, the stillness, and then getting out and taking all these actions. So anyway, just some, quick thoughts. I'll stop.
Thank you, Roland and Maynard. And Maynard, when you said you're hopeful, you believe things will change, a lot of heads were nodding, by the way.
Oh, good. That makes me even feel better, much better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm getting a little bit more knowing that other people feel the same. There seems to be an energy that finally,
Yes.
and I don't want to hear the doomsayers and what. I get all that, but I want to be optimistic and hopeful. But we got a massive amount of work to do.
Yeah. Okay, we have time for maybe one more. Yeah, go ahead, Sue. Please go ahead.
This is my first time on any call like this. I've been doing, since stay at home, I've been doing a lot of yoga, and a lot of thoughts have been coming up in the last 8 weeks. So this really hit home, especially when I think it was Sheila, the first person that spoke, talked about, she was the benefit of a lot of this, the benefit of some of this racism that's gone on. And that's how I feel. And I feel almost shameful. I'm going to get emotional. Shameful that I want to just go and I want to go hug somebody, and I'm afraid to, because I was raised racist, but I don't believe I have that in me. But I'm scared to break that gap. And so my purpose was to make sure that I teach what I can to my grandchildren. But I guess I just feel shameful. And I felt like when the person was on the ground, I felt like I needed to help and I couldn't. And there's not, everybody's got opinions, but I think this is the first time I've kind of opened up on it. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share.
Oh, Sue, thank you so much for what an open heart you have. Thank you for being so open. And I hope you don't feel shameful. I mean, the fact that we're here everybody that's here is willing to do some work, inner work, and to make a change. So the fact that you're going to be talking to your grandkids and things like that, when you take action to fix this, I hope you feel beautiful about that, feel good about that. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to move on, and we'll have a bit of time later to have a bit of an open forum again. I'd like to read from Stephanie, who couldn't be here tonight, a facilitator. This is Stephanie Price Whittle, and listen to her title. This is real. She's a director of creativity, happiness, and innovation at the Knowledge and Human Development Authority at the Government of Dubai. So Stephanie says, I'm originally from England, but have lived in Dubai, UAE for 43 years. There are over 200 nationalities that live and work here. We have a rich tapestry of cultures, which is one of the reasons I love being here. In 2019, the UAE ranked 3rd in the Middle East in the Global Peace Index. My purposeful action is to always practice kindness, loaning someone my strength instead of reminding them of their weakness. People are dealing with lots of uncertainty and anxiety at this moment, and even more reason to practice acts of kindness. So thank you. And I'd like to now ask Lisa to speak.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, everyone, and welcome. And I just want to say that I'm resonating with so many of the words and feelings that people are sharing this evening. My name is Lisa Spragna. I live in the suburbs of Chicago. My purposeful action is to learn, to listen, and engage so I can educate myself as much as possible regarding the issues of Black lives, racism, and police brutality. So I want to use my white privilege to speak up and have those difficult conversations and to be an advocate for those who don't have a voice. I might not always get it right, but I don't want to back away. Silence is complicity. And most importantly, I don't want to stop or forget or let my actions fade away. It is through my mindfulness practice I can continue to stay present, to stay connected, and to stay connected with a compassionate heart. The word compassion, when we break it down, calm means with, and passion means suffering. So I want to stay open and available to the suffering. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Marie-Josee and I'm from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Like millions of people also, when I saw the scenes on television, I could not look at them without having a broken heart filled with anger and a lot of sadness. Thousands of people were gathered here in Montreal last Sunday, like many other cities, to protest against racism and police brutality. My purposeful action is very simple. It's just to be more aware that even today, racism still exists, unfortunately. I think I've been so naive to think that it did not, but I am well aware now that it is still very present in large cities, even in Montreal. I will therefore make it my duty to treat every human being, regardless of their color, their age, and their origin, with love, respect, and compassion. As quoted by Judith Henderson, she says that our greatest strength as a human race is our ability to acknowledge our differences. Our greatest weakness is our failure to embrace them. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shana Sharon, and I am from Portland, Oregon. And in Oregon, we've transitioned to now more peaceful protests. And in fact, there's some family-friendly protests that we'll be attending this weekend. For those of you that don't know, Portland is Oregon's most populous city, and it's still known as the whitest big city in the US. And it's known for its strong racist history. I believe that action starts with ourselves. And for those of us who have children, we have the ability to influence and educate them for the future. I have a couple of purposeful actions. The first is really to take education very seriously and educate myself and take a step to becoming an active ally in the Black community. Through my work, we have a Slack channel that's called Justice in June, in which everyone commits 10 minutes a day to reading articles or videos that are posted in the channel. The second action is for me to share these findings with my children, take the time to educate them, and have family discussions that are ongoing and just not at this moment in time, but forever. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Vera Legacy, and I'm from Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia, and I'm originally from Ottawa and moved here 20 years ago. Ottawa has quite a large population of Black people, and my mother married a Black person from Jamaica after my father passed away. So he became part of our family, and he was a grandfather to my boys growing up. And a couple of days ago, one of my sons said that he helped shape his life so much. And I'm very grateful for that. As a result, my sons never used skin color to pick their friends. It didn't even occur to them. So I really agree with what others have said before about the importance of teaching children and being honest and open with them. Because of this, I've chosen a little quote from a book. It's a children's book, and it's called I Am Love, a book of compassion by Susan Verde. And I'll just read the little quote from it. When I see someone going through a storm of hurt and unfairness, of anger and sadness, when the sun disappears and the skies grow dark, and I see there is fear, I ask myself, what can I do to help the light back in? I put my hands on my heart and I listen. And that is where I find the answer. I have compassion. I act with tenderness. I am love. And that's what my powerful action is. It's to encourage everyone to listen to their hearts. And when they do that, they can act from a place of love rather than fear. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Steve LaMotta. I'm from the Woodlands, Texas, a northern suburb of Houston. And here in the Woodlands in downtown Houston, we had very peaceful rallies. Houston is the fourth largest city in the US and is a multicultural city, but we still have racism. My purposeful action is to be an observer who truly listens with an open heart and contribute to the conversation without judgment. And I will offer up that practicing meditation and mindfulness daily, even if only for 10 minutes, will help relax the mind and create clarity of thought, something that is needed within us all during these trying times. And I'd like to close with a poem by Langston Hughes, an American poet, writer, playwright, who was an important figure in the Harlem Renaissance and who vividly depicted the African-American experience through his writings, called Let America Be America Again. Oh, let America be America again. The land that has never been yet, and yet must be. The land where every man is free. Love and peace to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie, Lisa, Marie-Josee, Shana, Vera, and Steve. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm just so touched by all of this. Okay, I would like to give you just a few minutes here of silence. So going into a second short meditation, I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And just having a couple of minutes of silence to sit with your purposeful action, allowing it to further percolate within you, maybe become a bit clearer. And I'd invite you to start to feel your action in your body. Okay, so feel it in your body as if you're already taking that action and feeling what that feels like to take that action. So I'll be silent now. Okay, thank you for doing that, and take some deep belly breaths. Bringing movement back into your body. Let's do a bit of stretching, and you can open your eyes when you're ready. Okay, time goes by really quickly here. There's a lot of things to say, isn't there? We're running a little bit short on time, but we do have a few more facilitators to speak. So let's move through this. And I invite Mei Yen to start off. Mei Yen, are you unmuted?
Hi, yeah, sorry. Can you hear me
Okay.
now? Yeah, okay. Right, hi everyone. My name is Mei Yen. I'm from Singapore, far away in the Asian continent. Singapore is a multiracial society, and our kids recite the pledge every day to be one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion, to build a democratic society based on justice and equality. But racism still exists here, though they are largely verbal and non-violent. And sometimes when I travel overseas, I'm also at the receiving end of racism. I guess George's death is a wake-up call to all of us. And one death is one too many. And we've witnessed how our beliefs can cause hurt and pain to others. So let us commit to remove our colored and judgmental lenses and be kind and compassionate to ourselves and to others, and make this world a happier and more beautiful place for all of us. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tanya Ross, and I live in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. And one of the joys of living in Mississauga is celebrating the diversity of our citizens and all of our different cultural backgrounds. And I want to keep my heart open, and I want to keep cultivating compassion and kindness for all. So my purposeful action will be to daily to pause, to practice mindful breathing and what I call 4-2 restore. I'll begin by taking a deep breath in, inhaling kindness, feeling it in my heart center, and then exhaling judgment. I'll inhale understanding and exhale indifference. I'll inhale tolerance and I'll exhale bias. And I'll inhale unity and I'll exhale division. Thank you. I'd also like to take the opportunity to read a message from a fellow facilitator. My name is Sradha. I'm from Mauritius, a small island in the Indian Ocean with a population of 1.2 million. We have followed the recent events on TV and feel for all the people who have been affected. Luckily for us, we live in a multicultural, multi-religious country, and overt racism is not an issue. All the same, I am determined to continue with efforts to actively bring more awareness and compassion to the community. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Teresa McKee from Los Angeles, California. I'd like to share a quote with you from George Bernard Shaw that has resonated with me over the last couple of weeks and helped inform my purposeful action. He said, "Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything." I think this is important because while we all have unconscious bias, which mindfulness can help us become more aware of, racism is learned. And so I encourage all of you as well to establish or maintain a mindfulness practice to support yourselves and others through these challenging times. My purposeful action is to continue teaching mindfulness and to look for opportunities to spread it for those who might need support in changing their minds. I am also going to share on behalf of a fellow facilitator who was unable to be here today. This is from Judith Young Comer from Seattle, Washington. All of my purposeful actions need to come forth from a state of what I'm calling passionate equilibrium, which is a state that is sustainable for me and for others because they can feel respected, heard, and safe in my presence. My state is reflected in my tone and pitch of voice, my facial micro expressions, the quality of my breathing, my posture and gestures, the look in my eyes, and my choice of words. It's important that I have a genuine, open, and inviting state, and that is a result of genuine, open, and devoted inner work. So my primary purposeful action is to devote to my inner work and practices, even when there is so much urgent and important action to take. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia Chong. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. And I'd like to read from a poem by Naomi Shihab Nye called Kindness. This poem is really helping to inform my purposeful action. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, You must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows, and you can see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. What I'd like to do, if Karen is ready, I'd like to move to the compassion practice. It's going to be about 5 minutes, and then we'll do a quick open forum after that. So, Karen, if you're ready, you can go ahead.
Yep, okay. Thanks very much, Wendy, and good evening, everyone. So my name is Karen Anzai, and I also live in Vancouver, BC. As we open to the suffering in the world and in our communities, and as we also take this opportunity to pause and reflect on our own personal actions to address systemic racism and racial injustices, it is also very important to make time to take care of our own hearts. Practicing compassion, which can be thought of as the quivering of the heart in response to suffering, can be a very important practice both now and at any time when we are overwhelmed with difficult emotions and experiences. So I'd like to invite you now to engage in a very short practice that's called Giving and Receiving Compassion, which is adapted from Chris Germer and Kirsten Neff's work, and is a lovely practice that allows us to be there for others while also looking after ourselves. So I invite you once again to find a comfortable meditation posture. Remembering that it's always important to take care of yourself as you need to at any point in the practice. And as best you can, dropping into stillness. Closing your eyes if that's comfortable for you, but eyes open is also okay. Just trying to settle into a sense of ease and calm. And gently placing a hand or even both hands over your heart or any other place that feels supportive. And simply feel the gentle pressure and warmth of your hand. Perhaps noticing the gentle rising and falling of your chest as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Letting your breath find its own natural rhythm and letting your attention steady itself on the flow of breath in the body. Now focus your attention on your in-breath. And as you breathe, begin to breathe in kindness and compassion for yourself and for your experience. Just feel the quality of kindness and compassion as best you can right now. With each in-breath, filling up with kindness and self-compassion. Now shift your focus to your out-breath, feeling your whole body breathe out, feeling the ease of each exhalation. And call to mind someone or a group of people who is struggling right now and needs some compassion. Begin directing your out-breath to this person or to the group, sending them kindness and compassion with each out-breath. One breath after the other.
Now focus on the sensation of breathing both in and out. Breathing in for yourself and out for the other person. In for me and out for you. One for me and one for you. And as you breathe, draw kindness and compassion in for yourself and breathe kindness and compassion out for the other person. One for me and one for you. In for me and out for you. Like the gentle waves of the ocean, riding this boundless flow of compassion for ourselves and for all beings. And now I invite you to gently let go of the practice, slowly opening your eyes, and return to the gathering whenever you are ready. Thank you, everyone, for engaging in that practice and for the opportunity to offer that to this lovely, caring, compassionate community.
Thank you, Karen. I loved that. Thank you. I love it. One for me and one for you. I appreciate that so much. What I'd like to do is ask for any of your thoughts about this session in the chat. Let's do this by chat. So if you'd like to open your chat and just share your thoughts as we come to near a close here, that would be wonderful. Yeah, thank you, Shana. Challenging yourself to look at history and all the bias that happens.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Deborah. Yes, I can
Hi,
hear you.
yes. I'd just like to express gratitude for, I didn't expect any of this. I've been studying mindfulness for a few years, and I've been following you, Wendy, as well. And I decided to join in, and it's been tremendous to my heart. Yeah, you know, when you don't expect things, all of a sudden you make room for wonderful stuff. And that's what I'm gaining tonight. I've also really taken in what people's purposeful actions are all about, and it led me to think about my purposeful actions as well. So it's been very moving. So I'm very grateful for the kind souls that have shown up and spoken up tonight, and yeah, it made a difference to me. So if that's how beautiful change happens, right? One person is I hate the word contaminated in the sense of COVID, but positively contaminated. And then, you know, we can spread on and spread on and spread it on. And so may this practice endure. And thank you, everyone. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Deborah. Thank you for sharing that. I'm really moved too. Wow. This is more even than I was hoping for. And I really appreciate it. Whatever you're typing in the chat here, I'm not going to read them all out, but what I'm going to do is put probably some of them onto my webpage. So here's how you could help me, everybody. With this replay, I will let you know by email when it's ready to be seen, and I'd love for you to share it out. And if any of you who spoke up during the open forum would like me to keep your piece in, then just send me an email. Otherwise, by default, I'm going to take out those pieces of sharing. Okay, I just want to show you a quick screen to say thank you here. Oops. Oh, hold on, sorry. Not that easy to do sometimes. I want to thank you for attending. And you know what, guys, I'm not a marketer, but I felt like I should let you know that there's the Dealing with Change Toolkit on my website. And I did a study where I combined mindfulness and my knowledge of change, the change journey. I'm an organizational change manager. So I did a study, the study results are on the website, and I created a confidential toolkit, which is a login that helps you through the journey of change. So it's a few lessons, and it's basically a set of meditations that bring you through the journey of change. Okay, and there's my contact information there for you if anybody wants to get in touch with me. So I wanted to just quickly mention that. And yeah, as we come to a close, I just want to thank you so much for being here. And I don't feel like coming to a close. It means so much that you all showed up. And thank you for the facilitators. You guys were all like right there and ready to go. And I really appreciate it. Okay, so how about if you'd like, you can all unmute and wish each other well.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
That was
Everyone.
wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for this
Thank
time.
you. Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. It was very interesting and so fulfilling for me to be present for this.
Beautiful. Okay, I wish you well. Please share out the replay when you get it, okay? Help other people through this.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And,
Peace, everyone.
Peace,
Thank you,
everybody.
Wendy.
Be well,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes, peace.
Bye.
Bye.
So this is the official end.
Bye.
If you'd like to drop off, I'll stay on for a bit if anybody wants to talk further.